What you need to be prepared for when you're adopting. This might surprise you. I'm going to talk about this on All About Adoption. Hi, I'm Stephanie A., and I'm the adoption lady. And let's talk about some things to be prepared for. Be prepared to really like the expecting mom who's chosen you to parent her child. She's made a connection with you through your profile. So you usually find that when you meet her, you have this connection, this bond. So be prepared that you're really gonna like her a lot. And also the expecting birth father as well. They're no longer strangers. They're now real people who you've met, and you usually find you like them a lot. So 2, be prepared for the lack of prenatal care. That usually shocks a lot of prospective adopted families because, particularly if you're experiencing infertility, if you were to get pregnant, you would most likely be at all of your prenatal visits. And so it's just really surprising when families come across expecting moms who don't attend their prenatal appointments. There's a couple of reasons for that. Sometimes some moms are parenting maybe 2 or 3 or maybe even 4 of their children, and she is a single mama and she has no support. And so dragging all of her kids to a prenatal appointment is a lot, especially if she doesn't have transportation and needs to use public transportation. That's just a lot to ask. And then also sometimes moms will pull away from the pregnancy and they'll start disconnecting themselves from the pregnancy. And one way that they do that emotionally is to not go to prenatal appointments. Another reason why they don't get prenatal care is because maybe they're using drugs during the pregnancy and they don't want that to be ridiculed by the doctor while they're pregnant and having testing done while they're pregnant. So they're hiding the drug use. Number 3, be prepared for the expecting parents to make very different decisions that you would make in life. So a lot of times there are decisions that expecting parents will make just because of their life circumstances that you would not make. It could be like how they spend their money. It's a limited resource and therefore they need to spend it all right away because it's a limited resource. Sometimes prospective adoptive parents don't understand those kind of decisions. Number 4, don't be surprised if your infertility comes up and resurfaces and is there, especially when you may be attending doctor's appointments with the expecting mom and seeing the sonograms and hearing the heartbeat and just really kind of grieving that you're not experiencing that yourself personally. So don't be surprised if those feelings resurface. They're normal. And number 5, this is going to sound very crass, but this is not your baby until the expecting parents place the baby for adoption. I can't say that enough. This is not your baby until that point in time. So you may want to try to step in and have the birth mom to attend her prenatal care or make different decisions about how they spend their money or make different decisions on choices that they make while they're pregnant. That is not your role in her life. Your role is to be here to support her in her adoption plan and to be here to adopt if she decides to place a child for adoption. So just know this is not your baby until it's your baby. So hope you have a great day. Bye.